My friend just asked me to play the violin in her wedding. I do not, and have never played the violin. Also, I think she might literally be going insane. Like, really? So, my friend from school asked me to be in her wedding over lunch today. I have known this girl about 2 years, and because we have the same major, we are school friends. We partner up in classes, do projects together, etc., but I don't really know or hang out with her outside this setting. Anyways, she asked me to be at her wedding. I assumed as a bridesmaid. But I was wrong. She said she had had a dream of her perfect wedding, and it was so beautiful she woke up crying, wrote it all down, and cried for hours because it was just so beautiful and perfect. She even made some sketches and said this was a vision from God of her wedding, and she couldn't even explain the warmth and ecstatic love to me because she didn't have the words, but that she would do anything to capture it perfectly. She then likened herself to an artist with divine inspiration and went on for about 20 minutes about the details of her inspiration and how beautiful and uniting this wedding would be. That it would change lives and be so much more than a ceremony, and that the execution was so perfect it would be more of a visual statement, an artistic dedication to love that everyone would be a living part of. In this beautiful, perfect wedding, I am to the front left on the aisle, playing violin as her guests arrive. In a long white gown, feathered and beaded and soft, very romantic. I'll know it when I see it. I laughed and told her I've never played the violin before, and as such may have a hard time performing for her guests. She told me that I had a year to learn and that this was extremely important to her. I looked at what I could of her beautiful wedding notes. They seem really insane. Lots of stuff feverishly circled or written over and over like, "Inspect what you expect," over, and all in white literally scribbled over other words, all in the margins, copied into big paragraphs. The part she showed me of my role just said, "My name, violin soft and complex, beautiful and intricate a concerto, lots of detail." Wow, the guests. I don't know how to play violin at all. I've literally never touched one. She sounded like she was on drugs talking about it. She was feverish and flitting from topic to topic and talking about how maybe I could compose something, but she wanted it to sound so intricate that no one would believe it was just one person playing it. It seems beyond normal bride stuff, and when I told her even if I did have a year to learn to play it would be basic at best, she slammed her hand on the table and said stop. Then went right back to her cheery, excited talk about her divine wedding. I very gently tried to refuse, and told her that this wedding sounded really important and that I would be happy to try to find a professional to play for her, and she just said, no, it has to be you. I'm sure of it," and went right back to talking, as if I had suggested I wearing a hat to the beach. Just really casually dismissed. Then she dropped a bomb. "Besides, I already bought your violin, and it was almost $2,000.
What?
I don't know how to play." I told her she was being insane, but she just kept making no noises or putting up her hands or saying enough. Eventually, she just said the violin would be here in a few weeks and that I needed to find someone that gives lessons and learn, and that she believed in me. She told me that worst case scenario, I get to learn a skill most people would love to learn, and that if I do well, I can have the violin as payment. I don't want a violin.
I don't play.
Then she left, and here I am dumbfounded. I can't exactly cut ties and run. It is summer now, but we have a class together currently, and 3 classes together in the fall. I can only see her getting crazier about this. She is scaring me, and while she's always had a flair for the dramatics, she's never been this crazy before. I'm not really sure if this is just Mega Bridezilla and she will get over it, or if I should just pretend I don't know her, or if I should call a loony bin to come pick her up, or just take up the violin and hope whatever god of weddings visited her grants me magical powers. TLDR, my friend was visited by the wedding god. I must play the violin. Relevant comments. Honestly, she sounds like she's dealing with a mental illness. This is typically the age that schizophrenia kicks in. She likely doesn't know she has it, nor does anyone else who loves her and can help her. If I were you, I would approach her fiancé, her family, and school mental health. She's not Bridezilla. She's a very sick woman in need of help. You didn't ask to be put in this position, but you are. You need to get other people involved in helping her. OOP. I guess I can try. In Facebook friends with her fiancé, I could shoot him a message. I think you should mention something to her fiancé and or family. This sounds like it is potentially very serious, not a temper tantrum or demands. Something is very wrong. OOP. Im FB friends with her fiancé. What do I even say? I'm sure she's told him about this dream of hers. Yeah, but does he know that she's spent on a violin to give to a friend who has never played the violin and has no desire to learn? At the very least, you could contact her fiancé and ask for help in refusing. Say that you have tried to refuse this request, but she is really steamrolling you. Tell him that you are not going to be playing the violin at the ceremony, and you need his help getting that information through to the bride. I mean, that way you're getting the fiancé involved with the crazy that's affecting you. From there, hopefully, he can notice the more crazy things that are happening or rein this girl in a bit. Downvoted commenter. Okay. She probably has a mental illness, but why not go with it? Hear me out. Motivation to do extraordinary things is hard to come by. We normally go through life with some vague goals to better ourselves. Progress is measured and slow. Learning the violin normally takes years. But now you have a deadline and a crazy person who believes in you. This is gold. Grab the opportunity.
You can do this.
When it's done, mount that violin on the wall. It will be a symbol throughout your life that you can draw inspiration from. That one time when you did the impossible. OOP.
But I don't want to learn the violin.
I could give a shit about it. I have very little free time, a pretty stressful life, and am a full-time student. I don't want to put the time in, especially for someone with some pretty crazy expectations. OOP on how they are affording the wedding. She is not rich that I know of. Her fiancé is in the army, and she is a student who works part-time at the Quiznos on campus. I really don't care to learn the violin, even if she wasn't expecting some kind of magic. I don't think she is sane enough for me to take her up on the offer, and $2,000 on a violin seems exorbitant for a beginner anyways. And OOP's thoughts when first asked. At first it was kind of funny imagining the awkward sawing that would commence. Then it was horrifying. Then it was troubling and really, really sad. I sent her fiancé a message on Facebook. He has seen it, but he hasn't responded. I also can't believe she spent so much on a violin for someone who can play. Even in a year's time, how the fuck can anyone play so well they'd fool people into thinking multiple people were playing? Is that even possible? Update 2 days later. Ages are still 23F and 22F. Length of relationship 2 years. So I sent a modified OP to her fiancé and added after, I'm really worried because this seems pretty mentally unstable, way beyond normal bride stuff. I got this reply on Facebook from her, not her fiancé, at about 2 p.m. today. I didn't see it because she deleted me from her friends and it went to a different mailbox. Facebook is weird. Thanks so much for trying to tell my husband I'm crazy. Thank God he understands what it is like to love someone and what planning a wedding is all about. Excuse me that I have a dream I am passionate about. Trust me, if you ever get a ring with that attitude, you will understand too, but I doubt it. Nice try trying to get between us, but guess what, sweetie, nothing can tear us apart, least of all you. Ha ha ha. You are clearly jealous, and that makes me feel really bad for you. Then about an hour ago, I got a message from her fiancé. A long message. The TLDR is that she went fucking nuts on a florist because he couldn't do her entire wedding in Wisteria. The horror. Almost got arrested for making a scene in his store. He found out she has spent her financial aid/student loan money for the second half of summer and the fall on random wedding stuff like my violin, and has been booking venue tours and tastings with ridiculous expensive prices. If anyone is familiar with Texas, she's looking at doing her wedding in Giant Castle in that ritzy Lake Travis part of Austin. You know, by the huge multi-million-dollar mansions. So he told her about the need for a budget and being realistic, and she threw an epic fucking fit. At this point, she left and went to her sister's house. I messaged him back saying that she may be bipolar and in a manic state, and to ask her sister to maybe get her to a doctor, but he was more upset and focused on being hurt at what she had said to him about the wedding than her. She threw a right little tantrum and accused us of sleeping together. I told him that, needless to say, I would not be playing violin in their wedding and that I was sorry for any trouble, but I really did think it was best he seek some mental health help for her. He said, "You made your point. You don't need to rub it in. I can take care of my family." I told him I understood and wished them the best, and I guess that is that. I didn't see her in class today, though, and it looks like she won't be coming back for the fall unless she has a plan to get more money. Thank you for the help, everyone. I really did appreciate having a few hundred friends in this. TLDR, no one will stand in the way of the wedding god. The show goes on, it would seem. Sans Wisterias and one violinist. Final comments.
Commenter.
We demand the long message from the fiancé, please. OOP. No, something feels kind of sleazy about doing that. I did the update, but there's a difference to me between telling people the outcome of something that happened to me and copying out a message about someone else.
Ick.
It seems shady and there's details in it I'm sure he would be embarrassed to have out there. She made a scene and spent all her money earmarked for school. Use your imagination for the rest. Elira.
Ha.
When you described the violin solo, I also imagined it with wisteria everywhere. It really would have been quite lovely. You've handled this as well as anyone could in your position. It sounds like the husband is in denial and isn't going to be able to deal effectively with her mental health issues anytime soon, but it's not like there's much else you can do about it. At least you'll be spared the awkwardness of having her ask you about your violin practice every day in class, though. In short, you did good. Thanks for the update. OOP. Yeah, apparently it dies too fast or something to be used in weddings. Or maybe he just didn't want to deal with her ick. Justin O'Thurkawi. And it's not as if wisteria is grown in a greenhouse and available any time of the year as with more popular hothouse flowers. The window for wisteria blooming naturally is a couple of weeks in SPR.